Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyihi wa mustafah Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. Viewers everywhere, welcome to a new edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with the area code are 002-0238-555-249 and 002-01125-008679, and the email addresses are ask@huda.tv and alternatively guidance@huda.tv. We'll be more than happy to start taking your phone calls to answer your valuable questions and concerns, inshallah, soon as you start ringing in. Brother Gam from the UK has a question, which will be the first question to answer, inshallah, in tonight's edition, about insurance. Is insurance forbidden, and why or why not? If we're talking about commercial insurance, whether it is life insurance, health insurance, automobile insurance, then this kind of insurance, the scholars said, it is prohibited to willingly and voluntarily buy such policy and subscribe in it and collect its benefits for two reasons. There are two main violations in the commercial insurance. The first is the riba transaction, and the second is the gambling. It resembles al-maisir or gambling. As far as the riba, because whenever you pay your installment, and in case that you happen to get in an accident, or God forbid, something which requires the insurance company to compensate you for it, they compensate you for more than what you paid. And what you paid is what you are supposed to benefit out of it, not more than that. As far as gambling, because also whenever you happen to pay your insurance policy, and you pay as long as you're capable to pay, and if you're not affected, you do not benefit whatsoever. But if you fail to pay the installment, then the company will suspend your policy. One day after the policy is suspended, if you need it, you will not be eligible. Why? Because you're not subscribed anymore, because you failed to pay. What about the payment of the past year, 2 or 10 years? They're wasted. Also, the money that you pay for the commercial insurance is either deposited in the bank and they collect an interest on that, or actually it is used by the company itself to lend and generate interest on that. Because of these two main reasons or violations, commercial insurance is not permissible. As far as the social insurance, whether it is provided by the government, such as the social security or the welfare system, or it is provided by the company or a syndicate where the subscribers, they pay monthly payment, for instance, from their salary or whatever, to benefit whoever gets affected. Okay? It benefits every person in this community, in the syndicate, whether nurses, doctors, teachers, whatever. Okay? If any person is affected within a certain limit, it benefits them. That's called social insurance. It's not with a commercial insurance. The latter one is permissible and furthermore is recommended, because this is considered a compliance with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. cooperate and help one another in achieving righteousness and piety. This is a righteous deed, and a very pious act that we assist each other. It's like whenever somebody in the company or somebody in the syndicate gets sick, and every person pays whatever they can afford in order to assist them with the treatment or with the funeral if somebody dies, or to make some sort of compensation to his family, to his children who have become orphans, to his wife who have become widowed, and so on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Aisha from the KSA.
Welcome, salam wa rahmatullah. Can I ask a question, please?
Naam, please, go ahead.
My first question is, a few days ago, I have asked you about my sister was having a heart fever, and she did not fast for 3 Ramadans.
No.
And now for all the Ramadans, she was not feeding any miskin. And now she want to make it up to feed them. But now she don't know how to do it. Is she going to feed each and every individual, to give them rice or to give them money? Now I want to know how.
Aisha, you said your sister had bad fever, but has she recovered?
Yes, she was having a heart problem. She was not fast for 3 Ramadans.
But has she recovered, or she's still sick?
What?
Is she better now, or she's still sick?
No, she's alhamdulillah, now she's healthy.
So can she fast?
Yeah, she's fasting now.
Okay, if she can fast, then she must make up the days which she missed. The fidya, the ransom of feeding the poor people, or one poor miskin per each day she missed, in case that she will not be able to fast. But since she recovered, she must make up the days which she missed. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Once you recover from your sickness, you must make up the same number of days which you skipped due to sickness. Any other questions?
No, she just have to fast. She should not feed any miskin.
No. Feeding would not be accepted because she can fast. Feeding will be an alternative if she is chronically ill, if she can never fast. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. So feeding the miskin is prescribed when the person is either senile, chronically ill. He or she is not expected to be able to fast. Now, any other questions?
Yeah, okay. The other question is, I want you to explain some about Surah Al-Kahf.
Now,
because I think the story is interesting. I will always read about it, but I do not understand. I want to explain some stuff.
What about Surah Al-Kahf?
Huh?
What's your question concerning Surah Al-Kahf?
Surah Al-Kahf, yeah. I will just the story. I think it's the story. I want to speak something about it a little.
Okay, Surah Al-Kahf contains several stories, and these stories were narrated in the surah as answers to questions were presented to the Prophet ﷺ when the Meccans wanted to verify whether he's a prophet or not. So they consulted the Jewish rabbis, who were supposed to be learned scholars of the old scripture of Judaism or the Torah. So they presented 3 questions to them and said, ask your friend, your companion, Muhammad ﷺ, these questions. If he happened to know the answer, then he's a prophet. But if he failed, then he's a liar. Do as you wish with him. I don't know if you have time to go through the stories, but with regards to the first question, the fitya, the young men who resorted to a cave, escaping the persecution because they believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they stayed in the cave for so many years, 309 years. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them back to life, and the people figured out their story. The second story is the story of Musa alayhi salam and Al-Khadr. Okay, and the third question was about Ar-Ruh, that was answered in the previous surah. And then the story of Dhul Qarnayn. These are beautiful stories. We actually spent almost a year explaining Surah Al-Kahf in the program of Correct Recitation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ibn Hanif from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum
I have
assalam wa
four
rahmatullahi wa
questions.
barakatuh.
The first question is that, is it allowed for an accountant to work in a company and book interest? You have to prepare the accounts and you book the interest in the books. But the company is a trading company and it's not involved in riba, but it has taken a loan where the accountant has to book interest in the books. And the second question is related to this question, which is that if someone doesn't work as an accountant but just supervises the accounts and prepare the financial statements, so profit and loss and balance sheet accounts, but doesn't directly indulge in booking the interest. And the third question is also related that can an accountant work in a company whose income is the company's income is mostly from the halal products, but also sells alcohol and pork. And the last question I have is that if someone is married to a revert and the wife is located in a non-Muslim country, is it allowed for the husband to leave her wife on the basis of because she's imposing a condition to be in a non-Muslim country? Is it allowed or not?
So the husband wants to leave his wife? Ibn Hanif. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. The husband wants to leave his wife because she's living in a non-Muslim country. Is that your question?
Sorry?
Your last question about the husband who wants to leave his wife because she's living in a non-Muslim country. Is that your question?
Wa alaikum assalam. What did you ask, Sheikh?
Would you repeat your last question again, please?
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me from the phone and mute your TV, please?
Okay, yes, I have done that.
Okay, barakallahu feek. I guess Ibn Hanif will leave his question with the control, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from Mauritius.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have one question for you, Sheikh.
Naam.
Can a person perform Umrah even if he has not performed Hajj?
Naam. Okay. Any other questions?
Actually, I have another question. I have already performed my Hajj, and my wife has not yet performed hers. Is it obligatory for me to accompany her for her Hajj?
Okay. Okay, thank you. With regards to performing Umrah before performing Hajj, it is perfectly permissible. No problem. But the person has to look at it from this angle. Al-Hajj is the fifth pillar. So if his saving is close to perform Hajj, I would rather manage to save up to perform Hajj, because in Hajj I will do the Umrah and Hajj, and I will fulfill the fifth pillar of the deen. But if he's far away from performing Hajj, I mean as far as financial capability, and meanwhile he can afford to go for Umrah, go, no problem. You need to look at it from this perspective. If you're almost there, close to afford the fare for Hajj, then wait until you perform Hajj, because you will do both. But if it is not manageable now, then at least perform your Umrah. As far as performing Hajj with your wife, the Prophet ﷺ said that it is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah and in the last day to travel alone without a mahram. And that is a general statement. She must have a husband or a male mahram of her to travel with her. A general statement that covers Hajj and Umrah and every legal journey. Some of the scholars said, for Hajjatul Islam, if she does not have a mahram but she has a safe company, she's going with a tour or with a group in a safe company, then it is permissible, especially if it is Hajjat al-Islam. But if you cannot afford it, then you don't have to. And many of the scholars also said that amongst the means of affordability is the mahram for a woman. So she may be capable to perform Hajj physically and financially. If she doesn't have mahram, she's exempt. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Zaki from Egypt.
Wa alaikum assalam, Shaykh. Shaykh, I have 3 questions.
Now,
my first question is regarding my daughter, Mariam, who is 9 months old. Okay, and she has this hair very sparse, not at all dense in her head. So even some of the doctors suggest that to shave the head so that the next coming hair will be very dense,
Okay.
So is it permissible for me to do that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Second question is regarding my mother-in-law who resides in Jeddah. Okay. And my father-in-law, it's difficult for him to travel. So is it permissible for my mother-in-law to travel to perform Umrah without accompanying my father-in-law along with her friends?
Okay.
Okay, since they reside in the same city, And my third question is, I have in one program seen you saying that even though a Muslim should not drink alcohol, he should not even sit along with someone who is drinking the alcohol. Okay. So my question regarding this one is, once I happened to travel in a business class flight. Okay, and I boarded the flight very lately, so I couldn't pray my salah in the airport itself. And I was thinking that I will perform my salah in the plane. So once I got into the plane, the person next to me, he was continuously taking alcohol. And I had to perform salah sitting next to him. So is that okay?
Okay.
In such circumstance?
Okay.
Okay, these are my questions.
Right. Thank you, Zaki. Barakallahu feek. Sister Aman from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, sister?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you, Sheikh?
By the grace of Allah, I'm fine. Alhamdulillah.
I just have one question. Yes, plucking eyebrows is not allowed in Islam, but what's the ruling on shaping the eyebrows with the help of a shaver or bleaching it? Okay?
Bleaching is okay, but shaving is the same. Shaving, trimming is the same. But bleaching is okay, because bleaching does not really remove the hair, as you know. Okay, I hope you got the answer. Now, Ibn Hanif from United Arab Emirates asked about if an accountant works in a company and the company has taken a loan and he has to keep the books. Is this halal or haram? Normally, the part in which you deal with regards to the interest, whether directly or indirectly, is haram. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. And we have mentioned the meaning of this ayah repeatedly, and we said this ayah does answer 95% of the questions pertaining to business transaction, particularly business transaction. So in this case, if most of your job is dealing with keeping the books of the salaries, the investment, the spending, and the inventory, and all of that, and a part of that, then I hope your job is halal, because most of the businesses and the companies may be involved in one or two of these violations, but your job, you're not the decision maker as far as taking the loan or paying the interest. Definitely the company manager and the person who's in charge of handling these matters is liable. Okay, but the workers, the employees who are working, the company said it's either a trade company working 100% in halal inventory or a factory. So every person who's working in his field is not responsible for what the company management did as far as taking a loan or depositing the money in the bank and taking interest on that. And I advise you to continue to advise your managers, your superiors, with regards to the prohibition of dealing with riba, and it does destroy business. It does not rather make it successful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Asia from the KSA.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ahlan wa sahlan. How are you, sister?
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for asking. Pray for my husband as he is sick. I need dua from Huda team and from all the shiukhs in Huda channel. Inshallah.
Is he okay?
He is. I have a question. One question. I have actually two questions regarding one topic. There were some people who came from different Arab countries in one of the mosques in Bombay, and they were giving some type of dawah.
No.
At that time, they told that you have to leave the house and come to the mosque. They were Arabs, some from Jordan, some from Yemen, and some from other places. And they said that you have to leave your house and come. You have to say something about the deen. You have to create an environment in mosque. Leave for 3 days your house. Leave for 40 days. And something like this.
Okay, you're talking about the Tablighi Jamaat.
Yeah, but people are saying that Tablighi Jamaat only Indian Pakistani. How the Arabs are saying. They were not giving any book called Tablighi Jamaat. But they started with this thing. And this make confusion to my brother. And then he started question to them. And they could not give a proper answer. And then he was asking me question. Now he's confused that if there is, he's asking me question and I want the answers to be correctly because I cannot say the proper answer. I don't have that much of film how to say. So I want you from Sheikh. He was asking what is that, if there was Quran, why the Hadith came. And if there is Hadith, so what is the difference between Hadith Qudsi and normal Hadith? And what is the difference between in Hadith Qudsi and between Quran? And which is more important? And these people, they have created more questions in his mind. And I could not answer. So I thought I would just call you and ask your help.
Your next question, please, Sister Asya. Do you have any other questions?
No, Jazakallah khair. Pray for my husband.
وجزاكم بارك الله فيك. May Allah bless you and your husband. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Hamza from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a question, and this is on behalf of someone who lives in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Since they know that you have been there, and they want to know that on behalf of based on the conditions of leasing in the United States, is leasing a car allowed in Islam, like based on the conditions that they have in the United States?
Leasing a car. Right? Okay. Barakallah fiqh. No problem. Leasing a car, of course, is permissible, whether in the States or anywhere else you need it. And if it is just a lease, okay, there is a whole subject in fiqh which is known as al-ijara or lease. And this is permissible. But if you're talking about leasing to own, that's a different issue, okay? Because there is a restriction. It's two contracts in one. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam naha an bay'atayni fi bay'a. But just mere leasing a car or renting a house, it's permissible. No problem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ridwan from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, brother Ridwan. How are you?
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah, barakallahu feek.
Thank you. Now, speaking about shaving.
Shaving.
I want to know whether it is allowed for men to shave their hair completely outside the period of Hajj or Umrah.
Yeah.
In normal times, can a person shave his head completely?
Okay.
That is one question.
No.
Secondly, talking about Surah Al-Kahf, which you just referred to, there is a lot of confusion about the status of Khidr, as to whether he's a prophet or a pious servant of God. There's a lot of confusion among scholars about
which part of which surah? I'm sorry, I missed that. Surah
Al-Kahf.
Al-Kahf.
Al-Kahf, yes.
Yes.
That mention of Khidr among others.
Al-Khadr.
Khidr, sorry.
Yes, Al-Khadr. Al-Khadr and Musa alayhi salam. The righteous man,
Yes.
Al-Khadr. What about him?
Yes, I think there is a lot of confusion about the status of Khidr, as to whether he is a prophet of God or a pious servant of God. Scholars give conflicting
طيب. Now, I got your question.
conflicting versions about him.
Now, I got your question. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's all. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Barakallah feek. Sister Maria from Nigeria. Sister Maria, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Go ahead, sister,
How are you,
please.
Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I have two questions.
Now,
My first question is that I started a cake business recently, and I have a request from people to make cakes for their boyfriends or girlfriends. And I know relationships are not permissible in Islam, so I don't know if it would be wrong to collect the money, or that the money would be halal or not. And then
I don't want you to whisper, Sister Maria. Everybody is listening to us, so raise your voice, please. You started the matrimonial business?
I can't hear you, Sheikh.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay, please collect Sister Maria's question from the brothers in the control. Please collect her question. Thank you. Sister Maria, they will collect your question and they will send it to me innocently right now, inshallah. Brother Zaki, Sister Amina from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Amina.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, sister?
Alhamdulillah, how are you, brother?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Go ahead.
I have three questions. My first question is, I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah. My husband is a Muslim, but he does not pray, he does not fast, and he does not pray Jummah. What should I do?
How long he has been doing that?
With my question?
Yes, I got it. How long has been doing that?
My second question is it makruh to sleep on your stomach, or is it forbidden?
Okay.
My third question is, if I have a meeting at Asr time or after Asr, or if I have a class, and I know that I may miss Asr, can I pray Asr early with Dhuhr? The days are very short in New York these days.
No. All right. Thank you, sister. Barakallahu feeki. We'll take a short break and inshallah I'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Reading the Quran is a blessing. Understanding its translation is beautiful. But diving in depth and extracting pearls from it is simply amazing. Do they not ponder upon the Quran? Every week, inshallah, we will dig deep and reflect on the verses of the Quran one by one.
Quran in Depth with Sheikh Ibrahim Zaidan, only on Huda TV.
يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We have many pending questions, mashallah, from the previous segment. Brother Zaki from Egypt, mashallah, Allah blessed him with a beautiful daughter. She is 9 months old, and the doctor said it is required to shave her head for a medical reason. Then it is permissible. His mother-in-law is living in Jeddah along with his father-in-law, and she was asking if she can go and perform Umrah whenever she likes on her own or in a company without the company of her husband. The previous answer which I answered to Muhammad from Mauritius applies here, the same hadith which I mentioned. And I also like to mention the khilaf, the different opinion, which says if she is going in a safe company, it is permissible. But the vast majority of the scholars rely on the many sound hadith, particularly a hadith in which a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, I have been deployed to such and such a battle, and my wife is setting out to perform Hajj. She was performing Hajj in the same year where Abu Bakr was leading the caravan, going with a safe company. And Nabi ﷺ said, rather go and join your wife. So they understood from that even if she's going in a safe company, she should travel with a mahram or with her husband. Now we have the vast majority opinions or view, and you also have the other view which says if she travels in a safe company, it is permissible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Zahra from the KSA. Zahra, assalamu alaikum.
Hello?
Naam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh. I want to ask about children watching Islamic cartoons. Like there are cartoons based on the Prophet's life and also about various Islamic personalities.
Okay.
So is it advisable to watch such cartoons? I mean, if so, then aren't we in a way encouraging picture making?
Okay. Yes, it is permissible for children to watch such cartoon, and it provides...
Hello?
You can hang up and listen to the answer from the TV set. It is permissible for the children to watch educational and useful cartoons. There is no problem with the comics which are directed towards the children. Okay? And keep in mind, as they grow up, we emphasize the fact that it is not permissible for a Muslim to draw or paint pictures or complete images of living beings. But these cartoons, whether the biography of the Prophet ﷺ or the companions or the battles or the seerah, is permissible. And even any other cartoon which does not have any violation and it is educational or entertaining is also permissible. Let's see, we have... Now, Brother Zaki also said that he happened to be traveling once, and on the airline, in the plane, they were serving alcohol, and the passenger next to him was constantly drinking. And I mentioned before that the Prophet ﷺ said, let whoever believes in Allah and in the last day not to sit on the same table where alcohol is being served. من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يجلسن على مائدة تدور على الخمر. This is true. But if you have a choice, the other option is, of course, to take off on your own. And that's not an option, of course. You're stuck in the plane. There may be a possibility of requesting attendant to change seats with somebody else, or if there is an empty seat by yourself, no one is sitting next to you. I'm talking about something which I face all the time. Sometimes I try to keep the passenger next to me busy with questions and answers and chit-chatting in order to distract him from drinking. But it's so sad that the alcohol which is served on the Muslim airline is absolutely free and much more than any other foreign airline. You know, in foreign airline you have to pay for it. But on these Muslim airlines, you don't have to ask. They come and they offer you. I will be reading the Quran. Did you care for champagne? It's like nonsense. They're blind because it's for free, and even the most expensive ones. May Allah guide us to what is best. Then if you dare to ask, can I offer my prayer? No, you can't. You want to pray, you pray in your seat. But you can't stand up. Even though I have plenty of room, if I'm sitting in the first class, I have plenty of room. That's why I stopped asking. If I have a room to stand up, I figure out the Qibla on my own. And by the way, this beautiful, beautiful service which is offered by Islamic Finder, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the brothers and sisters who are behind it. By the way, it's affiliated with Huda TV. The same brothers who are running the show here are running Islamic Finder. And as you know that it's for free, you can download it to your smartphones, computers, and you can always use it anywhere to determine the Qibla and the prayer times. Amazing service by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I figure out the Qibla and I just pray. Will my prayer be accepted? That's Zak's question. Because I will be sitting next to somebody who's drinking? Yes, it will be accepted. You did not choose to be sitting in this place. You happen to be forced to. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from Canada. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sheikh, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, please.
My first question is, can we say assalamu alaikum or wa alaikum salam while we are eating something?
Okay.
While we are eating, while we are taking our breakfast, lunch or supper, if someone says assalamu alaikum during that time, can we say wa alaikum salam?
Okay.
Or can we say assalamu alaikum while we are eating?
Okay.
My second question is, in our country, people, when guests come, they say assalamu alaikum. And when they leave, they say Allah Hafiz or Khuda Hafiz. Do you know what does that mean?
Yeah.
Instead of saying assalamu alaikum, they say Allah Hafiz or Khuda Hafiz. Can you please say something?
Okay.
Is it permissible in Islam? And my third question is, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I do. Go on.
Hello?
I hear you, sister. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. My third question is, can we give Qurbani or Udhiya for our dead parents or grandparents?
Okay.
And if we can, then how the meat will be distributed? Normal time we divide the meat into 3 portions. One for us, second for our relative and neighbors, and third.
I got your 3 questions, Sister Fatima from Canada. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Khadija from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Khadija. Assalamu alaikum.
Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I have 2 questions.
Now.
My first question is about pictures. Like my Imam once told me pictures are not good, like snapping pictures.
I won't be able to hear you unless if you mute your TV set, Sister Khadija. There is a lot of echo.
That's my first question. And my second question is about movies, watching movies. I don't know if it's permissible to watch movies as long as it's not interfere with one's religious activities.
Now, طيب. I got your second question. Your first question again, please, after I muted your TV. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I guess you can hear me. No problem. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Muhammad from the case A. Let's put a hold on the calls for now until we answer these pending questions. Muhammad.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh. Walaikum salam, Sheikh.
Go ahead, sister.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have three questions. First is that we are going to buy a house for ourselves, but at present we have just the amount of rupees 10 lakhs. We need 20 lakhs balance. So can we go to the bank to take the loan for that?
Nope.
Okay, and the second question is that according to the Sunnah, that whoever has taken the riba from the bank, they should not have any relations. My sister's husband, he's working in the bank since last 30 years. So what type of a relation can we maintain with her?
Okay.
And the third question is, since whenever this Quran recitation or any hadith is going on TV, and that time is the Salah prayer time. So what should we do first? First we should offer the Salah, or we should go for the Quran recitation and all that?
Okay. Thank you,
very
Muhammad. Much. Okay, let's put a hold on the calls and the questions, so we can, inshallah, wrap it up and answer these questions, these pending questions. Sister Asia from the KSA asking about the practice of certain group of requiring people to leave their houses and camp in the masjid for 3 days every month, or 40 days every year, or 4 months per life. I repeatedly confirm those brothers, Tablighi Jamaat, have a very sincere intention. But for any deed to be accepted, it requires two things: sincerity and compliance. يعني the deed, especially if there's an act of worship, has to be in accordance with the prescribed sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It has to have a reference. When I prescribe an act of worship or revive a sunnah, I say it because the Prophet ﷺ said. No doubt the Prophet ﷺ and his companions and at-tabi'een and tabi'at tabi'een were much more keen to give da'wah than any of us. So, giving da'wah is a mandate that everybody must give. But specifying a certain number of days for da'wah on monthly basis, or annually, or per lifetime, that you have to leave your locality and go to another place, is missing any reference. Does not have any reference, straightforward reference. And because of that I said, go ahead and give da'wah. You must give da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Yusuf, قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين. This is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say, this is my path. أدعو إلى الله. I call people unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala على بصيرة, on an insight, on a proper understanding, me and those who follow me. So, do you follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yes, then you must give da'wah. How? As he did. The same way he did. And the ayat are plenty in the Quran prescribing the prophetic methodology of da'wah and how to preach and so on. But to have this certain style and impose it on people, I'm sorry, I don't have reference to that. Then da'wah is not limited to certain ethnicity. Okay, I heard this remark which you said, quoting them saying, those people are, carrying the banner of da'wah more than others and so on. This also has no reference whatsoever. As the Quran said, أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Could be an American Muslim, a revert, who is much more active in da'wah than somebody who's born in Mecca, or in Medina, or Al-Azhar graduate, and so on. Every person according to their capacity. Now, with regards to the difference between Al-Quran, Al-Hadith Al-Qudsi, and Al-Hadith Al-Nabawi. Al-Quran, كلام الله تعالى, is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. غير مخلوق, is not created. Allah spoke it out. المنزل على عبده محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, have been revealed to his Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم via Jibreel عليه السلام. المتعبد بتلاوته. يعني reciting the Quran is an act of worship. As the Prophet ﷺ said, the reward for each letter you recite in the Quran is 1 hasana, and the hasana will be rewarded for 10 good deeds. So each letter you recite it, you receive 10 good deeds at least. وَالْمُتَحَدَّى بِأَصْغَرِ صُورَةٍ مِّن سُورِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged the Arab and the Ajam, the non-Arab, with the least chapter. فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Challenged the whole world, mankind and the jinn. قل لئن اجتمعت الإنس والجن على أن يأتوا بمثل هذا القرآن لا يأتون بمثله ولو كان بعضهم لبعض ظهيرا. Say if the jinn and the ins gather together, they could see each other, sit together in council meetings and assess each other in order to bring an ayah or the smallest surah or a surah similar to the smallest surah of the Quran, they will not be able to. They will not be able to. Al-Hadith al-Qudusi is a statement that is ascribed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a divine statement. It has been revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the wordings are the Prophet's. So he was inspired with the meaning from Allah via Jibreel alayhi salam, and the words have been put by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why we cannot recite it in the salah. It's a hadith al-Qudsi. We cannot recite it in the Quran, in the salah. And it won't hurt if you touch a book of hadith even while you're in a state of janaba. It's not recommended, but it is not prohibited either. While al-hadith al-Qudsi is every statement that the Prophet ﷺ said, or every act that he did, or every approval that he approved via silence or action or saying. كل قول أو فعل أو تقرير. This is prescribed by the Prophet ﷺ, is called hadith. Even if somebody quoted the Prophet ﷺ doing something, and in this hadith the Prophet ﷺ did not say a word, the companion is quoting, that's called hadithun nabawi. Brother Ridwan from Nigeria, shaving the head in other than the Umrah or the Hajj for men, is it permissible? It is permissible. If it is permissible in Hajj, then it is permissible otherwise. No problem. Just keep in mind that the fashion of shaving some parts of the head and leaving some part, that's prohibited, because that's called qaza, and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade that. But shaving the whole head, no problem. With regards to Al-Khadir, peace be upon him, or may Allah be pleased with him, whether he was a prophet or a righteous man, we have no confirmation. Should it be a point of difference? And should we pause and stop there for a while? No. Why? Because the story has plenty of benefits. We benefit whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to learn from the story. It would not really hurt us if we do not find out whether he was a prophet or a righteous man. It will not. Nor would it really make us more knowledgeable if we figure out that he was a prophet or a righteous man. Bottom line is the lessons that you use and learn from the magnificent story of Musa and Al-Khadir. And as I said, we spent almost a year, maybe even a little more, explaining Surah Al-Kahf in the program of Correct Your Citation. Sister Maria, Sister Amina from the USA, her husband is a Muslim, she said. He doesn't pray, he doesn't fast, he doesn't even pray Jumu'ah. This description which you said, if he insists on doing so, or actually not doing what Allah has ordained him to do, especially the salah and the zakah and the siyam, then he's not a Muslim. And it is not that we are judging people of being out of Islam, rather he chose not to be a Muslim. He chose not to be a Muslim, provided that he was advised and he was warned, if you do not pray, if you do not pray Jumu'ah, if you do not pray at all, then you're not a Muslim. And he's happy with that, then he is not a Muslim, particularly the prayer. Lying down on your stomach is mere disliked, it is not prohibited. Safkah ibn Qais al-Ghifari said, I was lying down on my stomach in the masjid, and the Prophet ﷺ forbade that, and he said this is the lying down of Satan. But in another incident, there was no objection, and that's why it moves the prohibition from being haram into a lesser degree, which is disliked or makruh. This is the way how the shaitan sleeps. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. With a promise, inshallah, to answer your pending questions with the beginning of the next episode, I leave you in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.